Now, back to our habit. In order to change this particular habit so that you will be viewed by others as a good leader, we need to change your routine. In his book, Mr. Duhigg has introduced us to some terminology that needs a little explanation: cue, reward, and routine. He maintains that in every habit we perform, there is first a cue that triggers the habit, then the routine we go through in anticipation of this reward. Whether it is a bad habit or a good habit, they are both governed the same. The cue is going to stay the same, as will the reward. Well, sort of. But what about the routine you go through? So, what is your cue, or what prompts you to use your usual response when challenged? Well, the cues: you could feel threatened, or she's just testing me, or I don't know what the answer is, and so I feel panic. Psychologists tell us it is better if you discover your cue on your own. We all respond better when we feel we are in charge of any given situation. So, let's do it this way. When you approach your boss, your wife, your professor, or whomever with a question or concern, how do you want them to treat you? Write your answer down on a slip of paper and keep it handy. We are going to move further into habits and why they are important, but you will want to use your answer later on. Next, we want to identify the routine you would normally go through after the cue. You might react with bluster. You might immediately raise your voice, or become condescending and try to belittle the other person, or just stop listening. You might even fold your arms. And your reward for behaving this way, well, I got away with not admitting I don't know what I'm doing. Or your reward may be, well, she knows her place now. Or he knows that I know. Obviously, changing some habits can be more difficult. But this framework is a place to start. Sometimes change takes a long time. Sometimes it requires repeated experiments and failures, unfortunately. But once you understand how a habit operates, once you diagnose the cue, the routine, and the reward, you gain power over it. And in the game of habits, power rules supreme. The habit has power over you, or you have power over it. Take some time right now. Go to that place we have talked about before where you can be alone with no interruptions. Go back to your answer on how you would like to be treated. Use what we have just learned about cue, response, and reward, and develop a plan to change your response to the cue. Change the response to match the response you would want from others. Use the download I created, or put one together on your own. Once you've figured out your habit loop, you've identified the reward driving your behavior, the cue triggering it, and the routine itself, you can begin to shift the behavior or build a new one. You can change to a better routine by planning for the cue and choosing a behavior that is more productive and socially acceptable and still delivers the reward you are craving. What you need, what we all need, is a plan. Okay, turn off this presentation and go to your place and work on your own change. Small victories are still victories, and added together can create major change and major improvement. When we come back together in the next video, we are going to pursue adding the habit of being proactive into your life. If you are not a proactive person by nature, then establishing that habit is a complete paradigm shift and will probably require the addition of friends, maybe a coworker, or even a coach to fully implement that change. It can be done, and it will be done. To become a good leader, it must be done. Just remember, you have the ability to choose.